we're going to hit record and we're just going to get started.
Yep, we've got,
because it's time and we've got so much goodness tonight that we're just going to get started.
that view for everyone, or
Hi, Bader. Hi, everybody. Now we got to go to work.
so we're going to go ahead and get started here. I hit record. I'm not going to mute everyone, obviously, because we like to keep this a little bit more. You want to mute for now?
Yeah, I'm just going to mute to get a great recording. Thanks.
Oh, okay. So participants, mute all. But for the wins and that we need to. There we go. All right. So we start off with our meetings, obviously, as people know. There we go. Talking about wins and brags. So let's start with that. If anyone has any wins or brags for the week, and for those of you that are new joining us, what we like to do is start off with a win that you personally had, and the win can even be a fail. In fact, I saw a quote today. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was in essence that in order to succeed, you have to fail. And in our line of work, those failures can be no's, and they can be big no's, they can be painful no's, they can be really frustrating no's, but it's a win because you collected a decision. I know Aaron's coached a lot on that. So those are the wins. The brags are if you know of someone that has done something outstanding that you think the team should know about, please feel free to brag about them. So let's go ahead and start with that. We've muted everyone on here. So if you would like to share a win or a brag, you need to unmute yourself first, and we'll go ahead and get started with that. So who would like to go first?
I'll go. It's mine first, so I'll go.
Okay. All right. Family, you go, Patty.
I'm going to brag on Melissa because she is totally amazing, and we're all going to hear from her later, but I had to just brag on her because she rocks, and you'll know why in just a little bit. And then my win is I'm doing a flash sale with Tanya and a couple other people on my team. Melissa is in the group, and I have over 30 people in there right now. So that's good. I've reached out to probably 70. Not everyone has gotten back to me, but everyone who has gotten back to me has said, yes, please add me. So I'm bragging on myself for that.
Awesome.
That's amazing, Pamela.
Good job. And I'm glad, and Pamela, I'm glad you bragged on yourself, because if you weren't, I was going to.
Yes, so. That's amazing.
So, Patty, I think you were up next.
Okay. Well, I have a couple things.
Okay, go Patty.
I'm hearing an echo.
Now let's try that. I just muted Judy, so let's see if that worked. Go Patty.
Okay. I want to brag on Pamela and Amber Schmoyer as well, because I had a really funky day a couple days ago, and they really helped me a lot. And having accountability partners and people that go on this journey closely with you is just worth everything. And I just adore them both, and I'm so grateful for them both, because they helped me through a bad day, and it was really nice having someone to do that for me. Today I have had a conversation with somebody I met on social, and she wants to do the business. She hasn't even gotten her samples yet, but so that's I hope she does, but that was really fun. And then I mailed out some samples I didn't expect to mail out, which made me happy. So little tiny wins, but they're going in the right direction. So that's my win.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thanks, Patty.
How many days was it that we were in this business without having ever tried the candy, Garth? I mean,
10.
I'm sure it's great. Like, I saw the science. Yeah. It's so great. That's wonderful, Patty.
Yeah. Now, thanks, Patty. Now, I muted someone because we were getting the echo, and I forget who it was that I muted. I must need a brain. So whoever that was, if you had
muted Judy.
That's right, Judy. Judy, did you have something to jump in with?
Yes, I do. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know what to categorize this as, but I overcame a fear. I had a friend invited me to an event, and she told me that there was gonna be vending opportunities. So I got a table and I was able to share share it. And a lot of people were interested. There were, people were curious and all of that. And I got a lot of numbers and leads from that. And one person decided to be a customer.
Wow.
And yeah,
Oh.
it was really out of my comfort zone, but I'm like, I'm gonna put myself out there. People need to hear about this product. So I was really happy that I did it.
Judy, that's awesome.
That's great, Judy.
Thank
Yay,
you.
Judy.
Yes.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Woo!
Yes, and I got a lot of courage from listening to the group messaging and also from Zoom meetings. So it's really very encouraging, and it's like, do it, feel the fear, but do it anyways. We have an amazing product, and I just cannot help but share it with everyone.
That's awesome.
Oh, Judy.
Thanks, Judy.
You bless us.
Thanks.
That's wonderful.
Thank you to Tina. She's my upline. I love you, Tina.
Yeah, I noticed Tina jumped on here, so hopefully Tina's feeling better and is getting her energy back. So thanks for helping Judy out, Tina. Does anyone else have a win or a brag?
I'll do a little one, Garth. It's kind of a little combination, but I'm feeling pretty excited because tomorrow is my last day of consulting for the year and probably a good maybe 3 weeks into January. So I finally have my time back to focus on this business and no excuses, so I was cleaning up my office and really like doing a massive clean to put things together in case we actually also drive down to Texas. And I found just piles and piles and piles of business cards from folks that used to be another company with me. And I'm like, you know what? I need again to put that program together. And because it was also my birthday, you know how you get tags in from people you haven't heard from in months and months and months and months and months. And so I made a big list of here's the birthday and where, if they were a network marketer or somebody like that, and just kind of like created a whole new list of 100 to go after. And I'm excited about that. And then the other thing is just, again, this week, just by chatting with people, I think, Aaron, I told you earlier, one of my friends I was teaching and they're like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted, this Zoom exhaustion. And I said, you need one of these. And I just held my brain box up and they're like, what's that? And so through little conversations like that, just having them available, we're going to the mailbox tomorrow to the post office and sending out a bunch of samples. So I'm looking forward to kind of just new energy into this business. And I'm very, very excited.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't even imagine, so many humans.
And I think
I know lots of humans.
Yeah. And I think that's a great example for everyone on here is if you are someone who does Zooms, always have a brain box.
Yes.
Or an RLX box or even power or something right there to your laptop, even if it's empty.
We call them Zoom
or
drops.
even by your dog.
On Saturday's call, we realized we call them Zoom drops.
Yeah.
That's what I said. She called it a Zoom drop. Yeah.
Yes.
She said, send me some info on those Zoom drops.
There you
Zoom
go.
drops.
And part of it, Garth, I said, I've got one of these for before Zoom. I have a relax that puts me into nice, calm evening and sleepy time. And everything else you can think of. And they're just brand new technology. I'm loving them. Yeah. So it's very casual, but I'm very excited to kind of shift my energy into moving this business forward, not only for customers, but really trying to go after some of those, how's your business doing, kind of conversations with a whole bunch of MLMers. So
that's great.
Wow. They're going to be blessed by you.
Oh, baby. Can't wait.
Yep. For the sake of time, I am going to cut off the wins and the brags right now because we know we've got some great training coming up tonight from Melissa. So we want to make sure that we give her ample time to go through the stuff that she's got for us. So next up on the agenda is, again, we have a Facebook group that hopefully everyone on here has been tagged on or invited to, and you've accepted that invitation. It's Team Pop Stars. In there is a section called units. You'll see the red arrow pointing to that. I would say, at least half, maybe up to 80% of the questions you may have you're probably going to find the exact answer, or at least something close enough to it to help you out as you grow your business. So I encourage you to become familiar with the content that is in units. And the cool thing about units is there's actually a little tracker. It tells you, like in unit 1, you've done 3 or 4 steps or 3 or 4 videos or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of a nice little mental check with you of where you're at within those units, of have you watched them all. So familiarize yourself with that, not just for your business, but also as you are growing and training your own team, that you now then know what's in there so you can reference them to it. Remember, our goal as leaders is to train our people to replace us. So that's what all of our goals are. So let's go down to the schedule here now. Here we are, Sunday, we're starting the week. Tomorrow night, Aaron and I will be doing the weekly Popportunity at 5 o'clock Pacific. That's at papadropzoom.com. We then followed up with Thursday morning. Aaron does her amazing Mind Your Own Business coaching call from 9:30 to 10, again on Pacific. Then 11 a.m., we have a Popportunity again that Pamela Zimmer heads up, and she has a rotating guest list of other leaders that help her out with that. It's kind of a back and forth every other slide thing. And Pamela, I think you're booked up for the next few weeks. But if you're interested in doing that, it's a great way for you to show your people that you're a leader here with APL Go. And Pamela provides that third-party validation as well as one of the other fellow leaders here within the company. So it's just a great opportunity for you to grow and market yourself and your team. Saturday morning, Aaron and I followed up again with another Popportunity. And then I know it's not on the schedule, but we're all here with that one. Sunday night, 5 o'clock Pacific is our team call. And actually, real quick, should we mention what we're going to do next Sunday now?
No, it's on here.
Okay,
It's coming up.
Never mind. I was jumping ahead.
I got it.
All right. So the other thing you'll find here in units, these are 2 key documents that are going to really help you grow your business. The first document there on the left that says congrats. You've signed up a new associate. Now what do you do? Here's the 3 steps you need to do. Or you are a new associate. Now what do you do? Again, there's 3 steps in there. So that document is there. Save that to your phone, print it out, get familiar with it, memorize it, sleep with it, whatever the case may be. The document on the right is something that Joe B did a training on a number of weeks ago. And it talks about how to get to diamond within 90 days if you did not come in at diamond, obviously. And really, it's a 2+2 system. In the first 30 days, you want to get 2 people. Day 31 to 60, you want to help those 2 get 2. 61 to 90, help those 4 now get their 2. And by the time you know it, you will have earned enough to reinvest in yourself and upgrade to diamond. So that document's there as well. It's kind of a nice fill in the blank. It's a nice tracking tool for you to use. Again, print it out, have it someplace available. It's a nice friendly reminder of what you're doing, what you're building here, and what holes you may still have to fill within your business.
Let's thank Pamela Zimmer for those graphics. If
Yep.
she were hired as a graphic designer, she'd be rich, but she does it for us for free. She just makes all those things. She's just like, I love to do it.
Yep.
She's so good at it. She was an architect prior to network marketing. So thank you, Pamela Zimmer. I do not take you for granted.
Yep.
So this week, our Monday Madness is brought to you by Yvette Smith. Yvette, can you unmute yourself and tell everyone what Monday Madness is?
Absolutely. So Monday Madness is just what it says. We're going to reach out to 15 people, and we're going to create a list. And you're going to, what we want to do is to get them on a Popportunity or introduce them to the to APL Go product. And so what you're going to do is when you reach out and create your list of 15, you will take a snapshot and send it to me. And you will be put in a drawing. I'm going to figure that all out, how to do that. And then we're going to, and then you will win a prize. Okay, so you'll have a choice. Either everybody loves cash. I have $25 or a gift card. Or if you'd like, I will offer 2 of Big Al's books. I have these books. Yeah, I have these for my new signups. And so I will give you 2, one for you and one for your new sign up if you want. And so those are the prizes that are up. So make sure by 5 o'clock starting now until 5 o'clock on Monday, get your information into me and we will put you in a drawing.
Yvette, look
That's
at
awesome.
you go. I love it. Thank you so much, friend.
Oh, you're welcome.
So Thank you, Yvette. So we know we've got this candy cruise that we're all working towards. We've got from now until the end of March to get your spot on this candy cruise. And I want to ask Pamela Zimmer to share a little bit about what she thought about the candy cruise and what the two of us came up with and how it's helping her earn the candy cruise. And yeah, we're calling it the candy cruise. It's just called the 10th anniversary Triumph APL Go cruise, but it's the candy cruise.
It's totally the candy cruise. Thank you. So I knew that I wanted to be on this cruise, and I knew that I wanted to be on there, not just with my husband, but with my family. But 100 points is a long way to go when you're starting at zero. And so I remember calling up Erin one day, or Voxering her, or whatever it is that we do, and just saying how discouraged I was and how stressed I was, and like, I'm never going to get there. Like, I can't believe, Tina and Kathleen, they already got it. And of course they already got it, but it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. And she kind of called me out, and she suggested that I get my kids on board, like, I guess literally and figuratively.
Yes, literally
figuratively.
on board.
That was not, and that pun was not intended. But anyways, I onboarded my family, and she had me create this little like thermometer thing. And it's kind of rough because it got water spilled on it, but we created this little thermometer thing together as a family. We named ourselves Z Candy Team, or Z Candy Family.
Oh, for Zimmer.
For Zimmer.
Family. Oh, got it.
And we put all these little things, you probably can't see it because they're in pink over here, but like all these little things that we're going to do, or that had to do with the cruise, like fun, sun, vacation, ice creaming as a verb, because
it's a verb? Ice creaming is a verb.
And then I have them color in the little like thermometer thing every time I get points. And I'm actually up to 30 points now, and I have no idea how, but I was like,
none of us do.
That's pretty cool. So I'm halfway to getting just my husband and I on, and I know that we have until the end of March to get all four of us on. So that's motivating for me to onboard my family to help me and them get on the cruise.
That's awesome.
Zimmer, thank you, friend. Thank you for inspiring us. Make it a family mission. Make it a mission for yourself. Watch your progress go and track it, and get on that candy cruise with us.
Yep.
We have a very exciting announcement for all of you. Next week on Sunday night, we're going to have a holiday party. Yep, that's right. We're going to have a Zoom Team Pop Stars holiday party. I want you to come prepared with your ugly Christmas sweaters. We're going to have celebration for that. I want you to come prepared for fun and games, for laughter, for joy. We're going to celebrate the season together. We're going to celebrate everything we're creating here together. So next Sunday night is an unusual team Zoom meeting, but it's going to be a party. So you do not want to miss this. We just got great ideas of how to have a Christmas party on the Zoom, and we are so excited to share that with you. So we'll see you next Sunday night for that. And now we get to hear from our 3 diamonds for the week. We always like to hear from 3 diamonds. Why or how did you go diamond, and what has it done for your business? So first, can I call on Mike Ruiz, who just sponsored a diamond this week?
Nice.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Hi, Mike.
How are you guys tonight?
Great.
So yeah, I just got another one of my associates to upgrade to diamond status, which I'm super proud of her. So Amber Smoyer is my sponsor, and I at first I was kind of a little hesitant about the whole thing, so I only signed up for $400 the package per se, and with all the testimonials and on the go page and stuff like that, I mean, it's mind-blowing. It really is. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, the saying goes is, you either go big or you go home. And so, I went to the diamond status, and my philosophy is to help people out. For my real job, what I do day to day is, I'm a safety manager. So, it kind of aligns. You help people out every single day. You make sure they go home safe and healthy, and this business aligns right in line with what I do normally. And it's just super amazing product, and all the samples and stuff that I've given to people has been nothing but, basically a 10 out of 10. And it's super beneficial for them, for their health. And I just love helping people, and it's just been amazing.
That's awesome.
Oh, Mike, I love your leadership. You're just like, let's just go. And this is a no-brainer. So beautiful to hear from you. And it's good to see you on here. And thank you so much for leading the way.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Mike. Next up, we have Yvette Smith again. Yvette, why did you go diamond? How did you go diamond? And what has it done for your business?
Wow. Well, I tell you, being with APL Go has actually created a new whole career for me. I started out, I think most of you know, it's like, when I just came to a crossroads, and my why is I did this because I saw it as a blessing to me. It was a blessing. It was an opportunity. I was at a crossroads where, because of COVID, my business after 15 years, doing all of that. And I came to, I guess, get through some emotional, financial, career stuff. And I saw the opportunity. It was presented to me right at the time where one door was closing and another one was opening. And so the person that introduced me, I said, what did you do? How did you sign up? And it was like VIP. So I just did the same thing. I just came right in VIP. And then Sergey, I found out a little bit more about the product. Sergey gave a promotion to upgrade us to diamond and with extra product. And I just like, why put one foot in? Put both feet in and go for it. What do you have to lose? It's an opportunity. And I saw it as a blessing to drop right into my lap. And it was something that I needed. It was something I resonated with because I've always helped people. And so how did I do it? I just did it because my business for the third year in a row, it was like a 6-figure income. And it was like, great. And I was like, everything had been cleared up, credit and everything. And so I had a card. I had a credit card that could take me from the VIP status to the diamond. And I was like, both feet in, I'm going for it. And since I have, it's like just about everyone that I've introduced to it. Yes, I do get a lot of no's, but I get a lot of yeses about people that are wanting to seek other avenues of their wellness versus the pharmaceutical industry. And so I just did it. I just did it. And I'm so glad to be with such a great team that's encouraging me and to go forward and step out of my comfort zone. And that's how I did it.
Wow.
Thanks, Yvette.
You are such a blessing. I hope you see that from the team. You're such a blessing, Yvette. And I love the question you asked your leader, and I want you to all make note of that. Yvette came in and said, well, what did you do? People are going to ask you that. And they're going to say, like, how fast did you go diamond? And that is such a true leader. So thank you, Yvette. The third person we get to hear from is Jolene Stanley. Jolene, tell us your story. Why and how did you go diamond, and what did you do for your business?
Well, hi guys. The reason I decided to go diamond is quite honestly, I was just ready. I was ready for more. And it feels like I've been a part of every network marketing company under the sun. Some of them I've joined for discounts, and some of them, I was always searching for the one, the one that's going to make me feel like family, or the one that's going to help me support my family financially, or the one that's going to have the perfect product, or the one where my husband's going to actually take me seriously. So I
Yes.
feel like, yeah, I feel like with some of those companies, I did make good money, but it just wasn't ever the right fit, never felt right. And there was others that I worked like a hobby, but then I was paid like a hobby. So I was then introduced to APL Go by Amber Schmoyer, and I felt like all my criteria was met. Like it just checked all my boxes, and I was just ready to go all in and ready to start this business and do whatever it takes to succeed. So that's
That's
me.
awesome.
Wow. I'm so glad you shared that, Jolene. That's beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. So we're going to go to chapter 12 of Atomic Habits, chapter 13, actually, because I got that wrong. This is the book we're studying, Atomic Habits. And we're actually, to save room for Melissa's awesome training today, we're going to bring this conversation over into the Facebook group. But I want you to share with us right now, this book is all about creating new habits. And so I want you to share in the chat room, what's a habit you want to create to grow your APL Go business? Let's share some ideas with each other. One of the big habits I got into was working off a calendar. And 9 to 10 every single day is me posting on social media on every single channel. And then I'm done. And that builds my business. It's just what I do. It's in my calendar. I don't have to think about it. It's easy. So what are some habits? This whole book is about creating new habits, but what is the business habit you want to get into to grow your business? Oh, I love it. I want to get into the habit of sending out samples. I want to get into the habit of follow-up. I want to get into the habit of following up until I get a decision. Follow through. So I need to set myself up for calling. Like, we've spent 12 weeks talking about how awesome this book is and how awesome it is for setting up new habits. But what are the income producing activities and habits to grow your business? You know them for your health. You know them for your family. You know them for cooking. You know them for working out. Let's talk about APL Go from here on out with this book. Like, what are you literally going to do? And this chapter talked a lot about what's the easiest little thing you can do that sets yourself up to do the next right thing. Like, do you have APL Go in your calendar? Do you have it in your calendar? That might seem so silly to all of you, but do you have it in your calendar? Your calendar is king. Do you have your work hours? Go Yvette. It makes perfect sense. You're a leader. You have it in your calendar. So don't shame yourself if you don't, but convict yourself tonight if you don't. There's a difference between bad guilt and good guilt. Bad guilt condemns you. Good guilt convicts you. What do you know you need to do to put into your calendar every single day to actually work a business? What's a non-negotiable? Picking up the phone needs to be a habit. Yes, Melissa. Yes. Follow your marketing schedule. Do you even have a marketing schedule, everybody? That's what I'm saying. Like, marketing and sales, M&S, needs to go in your calendar every single day, or guess what? It doesn't happen. Set a time each day to do your business. Yes, Catherine. So can we fall in love with actually doing APL Go work hours on this team? Can we do that? It's not going to happen if we don't, everybody. I remember when I wanted to start working out and getting really healthy, and I remember telling Garth, and he said, "How can I support you?" And I was like, well, if I roll out of bed, I know I'm getting the gym, and then I'm getting to get the body I want, and I'm going to eat the way I want. But it's getting out of bed and getting out of cuddling with you. That's the most difficult thing to do. And you know what? If you could push me out of bed and then clap for me when I got my foot out of bed, he's like, you want me to clap for you when you get out of bed? I'm like, I think that would be great. Could you clap for me and say, good job, Aaron? And by God, that's what he did. And you know what? It's lame and it's silly, but it worked. If I can get out of bed, I get to the gym. I want you to think, what is it that will take you to do APL Go? I don't want to talk about these other habits anymore. I want to talk about APL Go for this book. What are the habits you need to get into to build your business? I have built a business for 4 years, probably working on average 12 hours a day. Most of us are not working 12 hours a day on APL Go, and somehow we expect this great income. And I say this out of love. Are you working a business? I know Yvette is for the first time in her life. She's like, oh, this is what it feels like. Oh, and I'm getting traction. I know not all of you are here for a full-time income, but are you here for a part-time income? When are your hours of operation going to be? This doesn't happen unless you plan it. But the most beautiful thing is you can get so much done in so little time, and then you can leverage all of our stuff. Like, it's just silly. It's silly, you guys. And you don't have to do it with any money down. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to pay for this. You don't have to pay for ads. Melissa, we know how much people pay for our coaching. We know how much people pay to understand sales and marketing. You've got that all here. We've got a team of people that got you covered, but you have to plug in. So just ask yourself, and I train all my newbies, the only business meeting you need to come to is Sunday night at 5. Can you make it? And if they say no, okay, when can you put in your calendar, watch the recording? Everything else is kind of fluff and gravy, but that's our business meeting. It's like if you went to medical school, that would be the medical course you had to attend to like pass the test. That's it. Like, I set it up in an expectation that way. So I want us to continue this conversation over in the Facebook group. And I want to really talk about the habits we're going to create. And this simple, like 2-minute little rule. The 2-minute rule was, if you could push me out of bed, I would get to the gym. And then I won a fitness competition in a string bean bikini at age 45. But it was the getting me out of bed and having Garth clap for me that got me there. It's silly, but it's the little things that lead to the momentum, behavioral momentum, we call it in psychology. And that's what this chapter is all about. So thank you, everybody, for sharing your ideas, and let's continue that conversation. We want to leave ample time for Melissa LeBlanc, a coach extraordinaire, the coach's confidant. I want Pamela Zimmer, her sponsor, to properly introduce her. And Melissa, thank you for preparing for us. You just had surgery a couple of weeks ago. Thank you for everyone's waiting on bated breath to hear how we can have sales be fun and how we can speak to our prospects in the way that doesn't feel salesy and just feels fun. So thank you for your expertise. And Pamela, please introduce her now.
Okay. Well, I am super, super excited to introduce you to Melissa LeBlanc. We met several years ago through the online coaching space and through global summits, and we've just stayed in touch on and off throughout the past years. And I think when I reached out to her on Facebook, it was one of those like timid messages like, hey, how are you? And we just started messaging, and then boom, here she is. So I'm super excited to introduce her to you, and I'm going to read her awesome bio. In the last 7 years of providing business and empowerment coaching for busy moms, Melissa's focus has been on life-work balance, business strategy, and personal breakthroughs in belief systems, behavioral patterns, and mindset. She is able to quickly break through the upper limits keeping you stuck and from your highest success and fulfillment. As a business and empowerment coach, intuitive energy practitioner, speaker, best-selling author, and global summit host, Melissa teaches that it's not just about business profitability, it's also about your peace, purpose, and true prosperity. She helps companies and individuals ensure that the cost of business is worth the price. By focusing on internal growth, the external will command by default so you can experience true long-term acceleration and sustainability. Melissa is best known for building her empowerment company to 6 figures in 1 year with 5 kids from home. So she's no joke. She loves to volunteer her time in the community, teaching sign language to kids after school in the school year and coaching girls softball in the summer. So please welcome the amazing Melissa LeBlanc.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so my computer's wanting to like do the whole update thing. So let me get this out of the way. Okay, yay, I'm ready to go. So thank you so much for that. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. And it's going to probably look different than what anybody expects. So I have these 4, I don't know if you can see this. Can you guys see my screen okay? These 4 power-packed full of personality science cards right here that we're going to be learning from tonight, so that when we can match the personality to your prospects, selling not just becomes easy and fun, but it also becomes supernatural. So we're going to spend some time going over these 4 and giving some marketing tips and sales tips on how we can make this work. So I don't know if I can share my screen. Let me see here.
Yeah, Melissa, I made you host, so you should be able to share.
Okay, okay, awesome. Okay, let me do this right now. Let's see. Can everybody see that okay?
Yep,
okay,
we can see
awesome.
it.
Yes.
All right. So kind of funny story. I actually lost my entire presentation for this. My computer totally busted. And of course, being one of these personality types as an A, I did not listen to the Bs, which are called blueprints, to back up everything. And so I lost 75% of all of my stuff, including my presentation for this. So I, of course, being the problem solver that I am, recreated it myself. So it does not look super professional. I actually had to take pictures with my little iPhone, send it to my email, upload on a slide presentation. So, but I wanted you to follow along with me. So just don't be super judgy on any of that. Okay. So matching the personality of your prospect so that selling seems easy and fun. We're going to be using the bank code methodology. And we've all heard, let your prospect determine your presentation. It's a super well-known quote by Tony Robbins. And so a lot of times what happens, and I'm sure you've heard this before, because I'm sure every single one of you has been exposed to some type of personality profiling at some point in your life. I've heard like the dolphin and the shark and different things that you guys know. I've also been exposed to so many. I was actually, so one of my divisions in my company was working directly with moms and MLMs. And so I had a network marketing company. I flew out to St. Louis actually and spent 2 days learning the DISC system. So I'm very well versed in a lot of different things, but when I came across this, it was just life-changing and mind-blowing, because it pretty much reversed everything. And we learn from a point of how to sell, not based on somebody's personality or learning about yourself for yourself, but learning about how to actually sell to somebody based on their personality. So we use the four personality types from Hippocrates way back when, and it's super fun. So most of us already know a lot about that. The other thing I wanted to just really drive home as well, besides let your prospect determine your presentation, most of us are only doing one presentation, and that presentation is based off of us and our personalities. And so we're missing out on 75%, like literally 300% of what we could be closing, because we're not learning how to do it 3 other ways. And that's what I hope to do here, just give you a little bit more perspective, not based on necessarily personality, but actually what drives someone to buy. So why they buy based off of their motives, like what motivates them, and then also their value systems. So it's completely different probably than anything that you've ever learned before. So I'm really excited to teach you that. So these cards, where did I put them? Oh, here they are. There's 4 So going back to Hippocrates and his 4 personality types. So that's all science-based. It's all scientific. We've actually categorized these into 4 different types. And they're called, the reason it's called BANK, it's an acronym for Blueprint, Action, Nurture, and Knowledge. So these are the 4 types. So what I want you guys to do is spend about a minute and a half looking over. Can everybody see my screen okay? Thumbs up. Okay, looking over these. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at these cards and then sort them in order from what's most like you on the top to what's least like you on the bottom. And what this is going to do is it's going to, if we were in like a one-on-one setting, what it would do for us is it would help me get to know you better and save us both some time. So that's the point of this. So I want you to do this for yourself really quick so that as I go through the presentation, you can understand not only yourself, but other people from that perspective. And when you guys are done, I want you to like raise your hand so that I can see. And this is super fun to do in person. And I've done this dozens and dozens of times. No one's ever rejected me. And so then when they hand it back to me, I can already see exactly what their bank code is, what we call it, a bank code, and what their personality type is. So I automatically know exactly what their values are and how to sell to them. So it's super fun. Everybody ready? Okay, and this is recording, so you guys can have this for reference. And I'm going to go through these individually. Okay, so BANK code is an acronym. So BANK stands for Blueprint, Action, Nurturing, and Knowledge. I will come back up here so you guys can see that again. And it was created by Sherry Tree because she, like most of us, probably like me and Erin, how we think, like we were just reverse engineer everything into how is this good, but how does this help me? How does this help me in network marketing? How does this help me with sales? So Blueprint is the first acronym in BANK. And I love how they use this box, as I want you to look at the box. And the blueprint is inside the box if you think about a box. So their 12 highest values are stability, structure, systems planning, processing, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and traditions. And I'm going to pick a couple to talk about and why this is so important to know. If you can just think of someone in your life that you know that fits into this. Just think about somebody that you know, somebody in your family, somebody in your community, somebody in your network. The biggest stability is one of the biggest things that they need, because if like that sets the foundation for everything else going forward. So for blueprints, I actually have a husband who's a blueprint, so it's one of my, it's my last in my bank code actually. And so it's taken me quite a while to research and really study this, like how to work with a blueprint, because in my experience, they're the hardest person to actually sell to in order to work the business aspect of it. So most blueprints will probably be your customers until you can build up trust enough to bring them into the actual business. And so a few important tips that I want to tell you. Okay, being on time is crucial. If you are ever late, especially if it's your first time with a blueprint, you'll automatically lose trust, and it takes a long time to build it back up. So anything other than early to a blueprint is late. And so always make sure that things start on time, meetings start on time. If you've scheduled anything with them, be early, not just on time. It's super important. Titles, credentials are super important. So you're always going to want to lead with either your credentials or somebody else's credentials that you know. And immediately afterwards, you want, if you don't have a, like, if you're not someone that has super high credentials in your own mind, you want to introduce them as fast as you can to, like, Aaron, for instance. Okay, super, super important. Their biggest thing in life is caution. Their biggest fear is risk. And so taking a risk is like the biggest thing. It's like what they live to avoid in their life. And so that's why to a blueprint, you want to make sure that everything is set up. So for instance, in the Facebook units, that's one of the first things you're going to want to show them once they enter the business, is get them right into the units. Pamela has everything, all of the graphics. That's so like perfect and pristine for a blueprint. Okay. Super, super important. I'm actually going to talk about duty for a minute. To a blueprint, if you can get a blueprint to actually work the business side, they will actually feel a sense of responsibility and a sense of duty to bring this to the world. And blueprints are oftentimes the people that other people trust, because they're their word, like they live their whole life for these things. Systems, planning, processes are super important. So like having this weekly schedule, making sure that they're set up on a schedule, and they need to be able to see things step by step. And so for a blueprint, you need to use verbiage like, I will hand hold you through this, or I will take you step by step by step. So no worry. One of the biggest things you need to be cautious of is not to overwhelm a blueprint, or they will never say yes. Also, for a blueprint, give them time. That's the biggest thing that you can do, is give them time to think about it, because if you're pushy, if you're salesy, it'll be an automatic no. I hope this is starting to make sense for some of those blueprints you might know in your life, that you're like, why would they say no? This is like the perfect opportunity. You've got to make sure you have the groundwork laid out, that it makes perfect sense to them, that it's step by step. You give them piece by piece by piece. So don't send them a super 90-minute video. Send them like step by step. Is this helping? Okay. So this is one of the graphics that I took from my phone. So this is what I mean. To a blueprint, this would be like such a turnoff. Like, this looks so unprofessional. What is she doing? Okay, but I lost my presentation, you know. So here's some things to look out for. There's some more sales tips on there. And then these are the type of career choices that blueprints tend to get into. And it's not all of them. It just gives you an example. So accountants, teachers, lawyers, managers, officers, kind of give you an idea of what to look out for to identify what a blueprint might be. If it's like the first time, ask them what their career is. That would be one of the first things that I would do, not just to, gain a relationship with somebody, but also it helps me bank code them as well. So the sales tips, I'm sure you're reading some of them. Be professional, organized, and on time. Have a step-by-step plan that you can give them. We have so many resources in the Facebook units that you can put something together in case you ever, when you realize that you're working with a blueprint. I went over some of those other. Okay, so their budget is super important to them. That's like one of the biggest things that so most of the time blueprints actually have money. It just has to make sense to them in order to say yes. Have your facts straight and resources in place. And again, like our leaders have already set us up for success in this. So you guys are awesome. Proof. Yeah, let's talk about that. So they want to see, these are the people that need the white paper. Like they need the science behind it. So you want to lead with more of the credentials and the science than the business opportunity, for instance, with a blueprint. And also introducing them to a product that works is going to be more believable to them than just trying to get them into the business itself. You got to work your way up, because that will, again, minimize the risk for them to get involved. All right, so the second acronym in bank is ACTION. So we use the box as the example. So the blueprint is inside the box, like they have to follow the rules. And ACTION is the complete opposite. Like if there's a box, like I do not want to be in the box. Like there, you can see the rocket ship just like, what box? Like there's a box? Like, no, if there's a box, I don't want anything to do with it. My way, my rules, independence, right? So take a look at these values: freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation. Who does this remind you of, guys? Competition, winning, fun, image. Okay, so APL Go, it's in itself, is a total action business. And so it's going to attract a lot of action takers, just because that's what it's focused around. So I will give you tips for the other ones to be able to get them in if they're not action as their first one, if this isn't their first code. And I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. So we all have 4. Like we all have 4 of them. It's just in what order are we? And we all have a little bit of everything as well. And so what we're looking for is primarily their primary bank code. So with an action, if you speak to, so you're with an action, they really don't, I mean, they might care about the products, but I mean, they're all business oriented, man. Get me in, show me what's fun, talk to them about the cruise, tell them about the competitions. If you want a good lead magnet for an action, do what was brilliantly, well, I actually did it on my page. I stole it from whoever did it with the whole guess how many drops. Like if it's games, if it's fun, if it's competition, they are all in. And that's a great start to initiate the business opportunity. Do something fun on your social media. Like these guys are attracted like crazy to things like that. Stimulation is super important to keep in mind as well. So like the holiday thing that we're doing on like next Sunday is a perfect prime example of what actions need to keep going in the business. So they are easy to sign up. They are easy to get in. You just let them know this is ground floor and they're all on it. They understand what that's like, but keeping them in and keeping them long-term is going to be the challenge. So making sure that you keep things exciting and everything's about fun, and also image is super cool. So once you get them in, it's not hard. I'm an action, which is probably why it was so easy for Pamela to like bring me in. Like I can, when I see a good opportunity, that's a no-brainer. Of course, I'm going to say yes to it. And so introducing me to somebody like Dr. Aaron is going to be important to me as an action. Like I'm going to want to be up where all the leaders are. And so you need to make sure that you engage them right away to your upline and the people who are winning in the business. Because remember, winning is super, super important to them. All of these values, so each one of them, we've narrowed it down to 12. There's more, but these are like their basic ones. So you can also use these words in your copy, like in your marketing. Make sure that you include some of these words in that, because they're gonna identify with that and it's gonna bring them in. Anything else around action? Does anybody have any questions up to this point about either one of the blueprint or the actions? We good to go? Okay.
It's so interesting because in our slide deck, we say people are winning here at a new level, like where I use the words that I respond to, but might not for other people. But thank you.
Right. Yeah, that's super important. And so that's a good point to share right now is in your marketing, you can either do it one of two ways. And I've experimented with both. Either I'll take each one of them and do a marketing piece in each one of their languages. Or you can take all four of them and combine them and hit a piece on each one of them so that they're all included. You can do it either way, but just make sure in your marketing that you're targeting each one of these.
I think for action people, it's, do you want to get paid what you're worth? Like that resonates to them. People that aren't action, they're like, I don't even think I'm worth much. You know, I mean, they don't resonate with that. But I would resonate with that. It's like, yeah, I want to get paid what I'm worth.
Yes. Yep. So make sure in your marketing, like as an action, you just speak it exactly how you feel. Like, and you're a superstar. We all know that. In your marketing and everything that you do, you're a prime example of what works for actions. So, I mean, for copy, for actions, just look to Erin, like she's got it. All right. And then here's some other tips for you. Okay. So this gives you an idea of how you can spot an action. So actors, athletes, salespeople, public speakers, entertainers, coaches, those type of people, entrepreneurs especially, are actions. And so what I love about this company is since it is so action oriented, it's pretty easy to get action oriented people in. It's just keeping them in the long run. So be cool and dress to impress. So if I come to if I'm, this is what's important, and I'm sure there's training on this somewhere with like your Facebook profile and those type of things. If I was just in my pajamas with like, like super unprofessional, the first thing an action is going to do is they're going to go to your profile and check you out, especially if it's someone that you haven't talked to in a while or anything. You want to make sure that you're presentable. So you want to keep all of those things in mind when you're reaching out to people as well. So make sure that those things are in order. Your Facebook profile, what you have on your Facebook page, like everything that you're doing, you want to make sure that it's stellar because this is a stellar company that you're representing. Display excitement and enthusiasm. Like you can spot an action just based on how they show up, and you want to match that energy. Same thing for all of the other ones. Like you want to match that energy. So if a blueprint is more cautious and quiet, if you're speaking like an action and all of this stuff, you're gonna like a blueprint's gonna like no. So you've also got to mirror your prospect because the cells in the prospect. Oh yeah, okay. This is important too. Skip small talk and go straight to the bottom line. So that 3-minute teaser that Travis has out there is such a good one for the action takers, for the actions. Like it's straight to the point, and then you send them the compensation plan. And in fact, that's one of the first things that I told Pamela was send me the I just want to see the compensation plan. And she did, and it worked. It was awesome. And then once I actually got on a live call, if you can get them on a live opportunity for them to ask questions and those sort of things, like you get right into it with them. Otherwise, they can get the biggest caution with them is their boredom. That's the biggest fear in life for an action is boring and boredom. So that's just important to keep in mind. Yeah, selling the sizzle and the lifestyle and the dream. That's part of a good marketing strategy anyway, is finding out what lights them up, what's important to them in any of these, but especially for the action, and then sell them on that. Like, man, you want to take a cruise with me? Man, you want to build your dream home? Let's do this together. Okay, yeah, charts, information, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they just, if you're a good leader, they'll just show up and follow your lead. So giveaways and things like that are really important to an action too. So that's always fun. Nurturing, this is one of my favorite ones. Okay, so if you take a look at that box, they're the ones who are going to take care of that box. They're the ones who are going to recycle that box. I want you to think of somebody you might know as I'm reading through this that could fit into this, into the nurturing relation. So their most important values, their 12 most important values are relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. So the cool thing about nurturers, when you can get a nurturer into the business and or even into as a customer for the products, they have a network like no other because they have already built that. Like you don't even have to teach them how to network. They've already got one. And they're the person that has everybody else's back, and people will trust a nurturer just because they're the caretakers. And so getting a nurturer into the business aspect of it, especially, you need to make sure that it's about helping the world, that it's about taking care of people. So what's beautiful about APL Go with nurturers is they have a product that fits their personality. And so if you introduce them to the product aspect of it, it's going to be completely different than the action. You introduce the nurturer into the product and how it's taking care of people, and you get them into the Facebook groups where you can tag them in testimonials. That's what's going to show a nurturer the believability behind it. Like, you need to hit them here at the heart, not at the head, not at the feet, not at the hands. You gotta hit it right here in the heart where it counts. And show them like what the company is doing for the world, what their contribution is in the communities and the charities that they have. Like, they don't necessarily care about winning a diamond necklace. Like, that's going to be the last thing that they care about. But what they care about are what is the difference it's going to make for me and my family and the world. Okay, so that's a great place to start. Trying to think if there's anything else. Everybody knows a nurturer. The bigged thing about a nurturer is, like Erin spoke to before a little bit, it's making sure that they know how valued they are and how valuable they are. So if you can keep edifying them and edifying them and edifying them, it's their self-worth that's going to be the biggest thing that you're going to come across with them. And so if you can get their self-worth to flip to like you're necessary, you're needed, like you're useful in this company, like you are so important, that's what's going to keep them going. And it's going to be that constant reminding them of how valuable they are, how important they are, how much their contribution is so important to a nurturer. And not only how the company's contributing, but like also you as a leader, and then also what they're able to provide for like the team members and our own little community and network. So using words like family in reaching out to somebody, like, I would love to introduce you to my APL Go family, and those type of things are really helpful for a nurturer. Okay, the last one, the most interesting. Okay. Actually, the perfect word for a knowledge is fascinating. They love that word, fascinating. So a knowledge, if you take a look at the box, like, they are the ones that designed and engineered the box. We all know engineers. Can you think of somebody? As I go through these. So learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy, the big picture. These guys need the facts. They need the white paper. They need to see exactly how the plant DNA is, how we're actually absorbing the plant DNA and how all of that works on a scientific level. Like they're not even going to think like to the business opportunity or even trying the products until they know everything about it, until they know that this is the real deal. If you can get them to the real deal, that's how you crack them open. And once you crack them open, they also have their own network in their own way with other knowledge type people. If you can get a knowledge in, you've got an amazing person on your side and on your team if you can get a knowledge in, because these are the people that we look like, me as an action, like I look up to, like as far as their intelligence and everything that they know. I have a brother who's a knowledge, and he like literally designed this engine to be able to run off of water. It was amazing until he almost died over it. But like these, like if you can get a knowledge person on your side, like they are the people that can easily convince other people of all of the science and everything behind it. And if you have a knowledge on your team, use them. Make sure you resource the knowledge because they're going to be an like awesome part of your team. So, there's one thing that I forgot to go over. So there are certain greetings. I know it's kind of weird because we're in this virtual world right now because of COVID, but in person, if you're ever to come across the bank codes in person. So in action, okay, well, we'll start with the blueprint. The blueprint respects handshakes. So if you think of it in like the greeting, they like the formal handshake. That's what's safe. That's what puts you in a position of power. Like, so even extending or reaching out to them virtually, keep that in mind. Keep in mind like how you like the greeting and how you acknowledge them. So the blueprint is a handshake, and there's a lot you can go off of with that. An action taker is a high five. And so when you reach out to an action person, it's going to be completely different than how you reach out to a blueprint, because they're high energy, like you want to hype it up and you want to make sure it's all about them, because you know it is to them all the time to an action. And then the blueprint, so I'm backtracking a little bit, that the nurturer is a hug. That is their greeting. And how you would start up something is they need that nurturing, they need that hug. So you got to come in with how's your family? I read about this on Facebook. I hope you're okay with, reach out in those type of ways. They have to know that they're cared about first before you can ever get them into like the business and that type of thing. With a knowledge, theirs is, I don't think you can see me, but it's like the Star Trek, like the whatever symbol that is, like stay away, like don't touch me, like don't you dare come in for a hug, like high five, like no, I don't think so. A handshake, yeah, that might be an okay thing, but knowledge, like they're just like no touchy. So reaching out to them is a little bit different. Sorry, somebody was in the waiting room. I let them in. Hi. Gets a little bit more interesting. So you want to go in there with the facts. You want to go in there with, oh my gosh, check out this new revolutionary scientific DNA plant. Like, I would love for you to take a look at the science behind this and tell me what you think. Them being the expert in your mind is key. Because they're the know-it-alls, and they know that they know it all, and they know that you're just stupid and they know everything. So keep that in mind. So the career types, engineers, scientists, programmers, analysts, researchers, you get the idea. So be smart and know your information. Like you can't come in like winging it with a knowledge person. It just doesn't work. They'll shut down and whatever. They won't even get back to you. Have resources and documentation that you can provide them to study. You need to make sure that that's the first thing that you show them. Like you have to give them the data. Like that's what they geek out on everything. So knowledge people, like they're some of my favorite actually. Stay logical in your approach and don't get overly emotional or excited, because these people, like for an action, they seem like super boring to me, but like to them, that's just the way of showing their intelligence. And if you're overly hypey about things, they're going to automatically shut down. Like they have no interest in hype. They have no interest in high energy. Like that's not their thing. So their groups are, they tend to have smaller groups that they run in, but they're powerful groups that they run in. So if you can get a knowledge in, again, like it's power. It's a power player on your team. Be able to debate and defend your product, service, or business. Or like if you know that you can't bring this yourself, bring someone along before you ever start debating in a conversation. Like pull somebody in that can give them all of the facts, all of the data, all of the research, all of the links to take them to, the link to take them to the white paper and all of the research. Like that's how you're going to pull them in. And then same thing on the business side of it. They're gonna want to see that this is like a legit company. They're gonna like kind of like the blueprint. The stability is important. Like they need to know that this isn't just gonna die out in a year. Allow them to do their own research and give them time to think about it. So just like a blueprint, these aren't the people that you're going to push for an answer, or you're going to get a no. And remember, the whole point is to get a yes. And my approach is a little bit different than the typical network marketer. We have been told, I don't know how many times, the more no's you get, the more no's bring you closer to a yes. I think that's bull crap. Because that just shows that like you don't really know what you're doing. You don't know how you don't know your prospect pretty much. If you're constantly getting no's, the more yeses you get, the more yeses you're gonna get. It's just like a logical no-brainer. I don't know why, especially in network marketing, it's taught like more no's get you to more yeses, unless you're using your no's to analyze and take a look at and to learn from. Okay, what went wrong here? Like, was it like what in my presentation went wrong, or whatever it was? And for me, when I get no's, I'm not afraid to ask them why. Like I'll reach out and be like, I'm just out of curiosity. That's always a good liner to start with. Just out of curiosity, what was the reason that you said no? And most of the time they'll be honest with you. But yeah, get those yeses, because the more yeses you get, the more yeses you're going to get. And it's exciting, and use those no's to learn from. Again, it's not a failure if you get a no, it's just something to learn from. But here is the overview of all of them again. Blueprint, nurturing, action, knowledge. I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen. How do I stop sharing? Oh, there it is. Does anybody have any questions? I know that was kind of a lot to go over in a short period of time, and that's not even scratching the surface.
Melissa, Pamela asked, do you have sales tips for nurturing?
So yeah, so nurturing, you've got to make it about what's important to them and what's important to the world. Does that make sense? So it's like it's not necessarily about what the business can do for you, but what the business is doing for other people. So it's the complete opposite of an action.
It's almost like I found a way to help people get healthy. Like
Yes.
We can grow our mission together here and help the world get healthy together and fulfill their purpose on the planet.
Yep. Talk about the cause that you are passionate about. Like it's all about the cause. It's all about the contribution. It's all about how it's going to benefit So, and even for a nurturer, it's hard to get past like even how it's going to benefit them. But if you can get to their family and their kids, and like you heard that, like I heard that your son is going through this, like that's a great way to approach a nurturer, not necessarily about themselves, but getting to them through other people that they care about, and that because they're the last person that they take care of for the most part, unless they learn how to self-care.
And so are they like the healthcare workers and the caretakers and the nonprofits and the volunteers and
the
all those
nurses? Yeah. Here, let me actually, I can actually go back up to that because I don't think. Oh.
Melissa, do you want me to make you host again? Because I took it back.
I just realized I didn't spend time on the career aspect of that, but yeah.
You've got
like
that.
Everybody that knows a nurturer can think
You're
a
a
little.
host now.
Like those are the careers that you'll find them in. And so with our product, with the APL Go product, that is a great segue into a nurturer. So if you connect it at the product aspect of it and what the product is doing for people, you've got to engage them there first before they look at the business. And so like with the action, you're going to go straight for the business. With a nurturer, you address it from the product, and they might just start out as a customer and move into the business as well. Just like a blueprint, if you hit them at the product and like how much it makes sense, it's going to take them a little bit more time to look at the business because it has to be step by step by step by step. It's going to take a little bit longer to pull them over to the business aspect, but
so Melissa, don't answer this, but everybody, who would you most likely want to get on a 3-way call with Garth and I immediately? Who would those people be?
Well,
stop.
Which one is this? They put it in the chat.
Or you can just blot it out. Yeah, action and knowledge. Yep. Who would you want to get into the Go Life to see how this is changing everyone's life and their health? Yep, nurturing. Yep. Who would you want to get on Mary Esther's calls and not the others? Who would want to listen to Mary Esther? Knowledge. Yes. Yes. Okay. You got it. Okay. So you've got to use these 3-way calls for the knowledge people, the action people, the leaders, the ones that want to make money, the business professionals.
I have my limit on the Mary Esther calls though too.
I know, but like, okay, got it. Oh my God. Melissa, that was amazing. Does anyone have questions for Melissa? Thank you so much for that, Melissa. Absolutely expert level, beautiful knowledge. Who has questions for her? Anybody?
I actually have a question.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put it in the chat, but I figure after I sent it, I was like, I'll just ask. It's better to just explain verbally instead of typing it. So, so how do you, what was my question? Oh my gosh. How do you, like with Monday Madness, when you're sending messages to people, how do you know what kind of, because I have like a few messages. I don't like to copy and paste because I don't feel like it really is personal, you know? Yeah. So I have several types of messages that I send out to different people based on what I think they would not enjoy. That's not the right word, but like
respond to.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Respond to. So, but how do you know which one of those categories they are so that they respond to that better? Do you know?
Get on their social media profile, and see what they're about, see what they post about, look at their photos, look at their pictures. Like you'll know based on like from these 4 which one they are based on that alone. So a knowledge person, for instance, they're going to be talking about all of the technology and all of like sometimes even politics, and they'll have like a certain side, and if they're constantly posting about the same things over and over, and like their interest in the same things over and over, and it's all data based and all of that stuff, and they fight even in debates, the knowledge, they will fight back with all of the data that they have. And so if they are getting into debates and stuff, action and knowledge actually both like to debate. So just take a look at what their Facebook looks like, and you get a really good idea. Like if you're seeing like a bunch of cats and those type of things. That you know that's going to be the nurturer.
Okay.
And action people, they're gonna post about their lifestyle and the cool things that they're up to and all the places that they're going and all of their cool new stuff. Like they like attention, and an image is super important to them. So if they have like this perfect profile picture and everything's super flashy, it's going to be an action. Blueprints are a little interesting. They don't talk a whole lot, but when they do, actually a lot of blueprints aren't even on social media.
Okay.
But you'll be able to tell, like if you're unsure, it's probably going to be a blueprint, because when I hand these cards to people, the one who's the most unsure is a blueprint. So I can just see by how they're shuffling these cards around and how their expressions on their face, like what their personality type is. So, and then also based on how they respond to you, you can quickly correct it. Like if you're sending out like a script and you personalize it and you realize, oh, holy crap, like this is a blueprint, you can always respond in a blueprint tone. And so, oh, let me show you this instead, or you might be interested in this, or invite them into the group if you realize they're a nurturer. So,
okay. Yeah.
I always, it's a great example, Jennifer. There was a woman on our team who I knew was looking for her tribe. So she's a nurturer. She wasn't looking for money. She wasn't looking for a business or the best science. And I reached out to her and said, Leah, I have found your tribe. You've got to come over here with us. And she's in our business. She didn't care about the business. She cares about her tribe. But you have to like view through the lens of your APL Go 4-part lens that Melissa just gave you. Like always be looking and listening through the lens of what other people want.
Yes.
So I always say in network marketing, the systems are duplicatable, but not the personality. Your personality does not need to duplicate, and it shouldn't, from what Melissa is teaching us. My personality changes based on who I'm speaking to. Okay. But the systems should duplicate, but not the script. That's why scripts don't work. But the scripts, the base of the script works, but the finesse around it is changeable.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And when you understand the value, so this is like their value system. This is what will pull them in. This is why they actually will buy something from you, is because people, like, your values are your most important thing about yourself, is your values. And if it goes against your value system, it's going to be a hell no. If it goes according to your value system, of course they're going to say yes. And so that's why going off of this new direction of why they buy and their value systems is so important.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, think of how you would sponsor Travis Flaherty. Like, you'd go straight for the jugular, straight for the business, like straight for we have a category creating product. Some people don't even know what a category creating product is. Okay. They've never even been in entrepreneurship. Why would you lead there? So you would lead with, do you want to find an extra, amount of money so you can actually go on a vacation that you want for your family? Like, that's going to speak to other people in a different way. So yeah, when you know something about people, sell based on that.
And I also feel like, since we're learning more about this, like, follow the nurturers, like pick somebody. Like if Pamela's a nurturer and what's working for her nurturers, like share each other's stuff with each other, ask each other what's working for the nurturers for you, because Pamela's going to speak more naturally in a nurturing than in something else. So
I love that. We all have a language now we can use to share our wins with people. That's so good, Melissa.
And so also we can share a script with people. So this was actually like a $25,000 course that I took. It took me like a year to learn all of this stuff. Like, it's crazy.
Yep.
And I'm happy to share anything, but like, that's also the other thing is learning how to script. Like that's a whole different, I mean, I could speak for an hour on each one of them. This isn't even scratching the surface, but there's so many different ways to identify what each of these are in so many different ways, but we don't have the time or the scope to go into that right
now. If people want to work with you, Melissa, where do they just reach out to you, right?
Yeah, just reach out to me. And I also had, I don't know if this is okay or not, but like,
Yeah, go for it.
I have like these cards. The only time I'm ever allowed to even make an offer to even sell these is anytime I do a presentation. And these go for $25 for a set of these.
Yes.
It's so important because you can literally hand these to somebody, say the script that I said at the very beginning. Please do me a favor, take a look at these cards, sort them in order from what's most likely on you on the top to what's least likely on the bottom. What this is going to do is help me get to know you better and save us both some time. That hits all four dynamics of
I love it.
personalities, and they'll do it for you. You can watch them sort it out, and then you get to know them. You can, there's actually like, it's going into way more, but I have a ton of sets of these. If you guys want to purchase these from me, they normally go for $25, but since you're my team, let's do it for $15, and that's including shipping. Just let me know how many sets you want, and your address, and I'm happy to ship them to you.
So you guys reach out to her on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, just through Facebook Messenger.
Yep, on Facebook Messenger, and let her know. That's so generous. Thank you, Melissa.
I think something that resonated with me in this is kind of as you are navigating this process of talking with people, you know, we've all heard the golden rule from kindergarten: treat others as how you'd like to be treated. Well, the platinum rule is treat others the way they want to be treated.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Sell to people the way they want to be sold to.
That's exactly what we need to keep in the back of our mind here.
Right.
Is what attracted me to this.
Yeah.
Is not what attracts you to it.
And it's all good. When someone asks you, what's the shipping time for these products? I'm like, oh, good God, I don't care. But that's because they're knowledge and I have to care. So
Yes.
you get an opportunity to care about everyone on your team and what they care about.
And then what happens is she's like, Garth, how long does it take to ship this
How long
stuff?
does it? I don't freaking care. This is the best thing I've ever come across.
Yeah.
And it's just hard, but it gives us an opportunity to expand our love language to all these 4 different languages.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Everyone give a round of applause to Melissa.
Thank you,
Melissa.
You have the best.
Great job. Thank you.
Melissa,
Thank you, Melissa. That was amazing.
We know that would be a $5,000 training, and we appreciate you, and we are so glad you're here. Awesome. Well, let's wrap up the call with Justin, if he's still on. He has a quote for the week.
Is Justin on?
Okay.
I don't see Justin.
I'm going to give you a quote for the week. So I'll go because Justin had it. So I asked my Gracie girl, who's my 18-year-old fitness professional, amazing, epic human being. And I said, how do you coach someone who's uncoachable? And immediately she said, you don't coach them. So I'm just going to leave you with that this week. Ask yourself, how coachable are you? Ask your team, how coachable are they? How do you coach someone who's uncoachable? You don't coach them. So I'm going to leave you with that. Even for the nurturers, that's painful. It's painful to not coach the uncoachable, but it's so important. So I love you all. Thank you for joining us. Next week is our Christmas party. You do not want to miss
holiday
this.
Party.
Garth has the most amazing Christmas sweater. You're not going to want to miss it. And we don't want to miss yours.
So real quick, there's a really funny story behind it. I'll tell you next week.
Yep. So we'll see you next week. It's going to be so fun. And thank you all for hopping on.
Thank you.
Melissa,